Meteorologist Matt Makens here. Thursday, January 22nd, midday update. Some of the data is new. We'll chat about this impending storm. I know there's a ton of information out here, so this video is about my perspective, what I see happening, and what may change over the days ahead. Couple of features here to point out. This is a satellite picture, looks down at the earth, looks for cloud cover, water vapor, all those kinds of things. Look right here. See this curlicue? Perfectly designed curlicue right in there? That is a storm over the Baja. That's going to be grabbing a lot of moisture from the Pacific and the Gulf and moving that moisture up over cold air. Where is that cold air now? It's right in here. This other semi kind of curlicue right in here, that's what's grabbing the cold from Canada, the Arctic air, and pushing it southward. Here's an animation showing you that. There's the moisture coming in, and there's the cold air coming to the south. Where they combine, right here, central to southern plains, and that's where we have the icing impact, the snow impact, the rain impact, and the wind chill impact. Total water on the way is going to be impressive in parts of central to east Texas, stretching out toward the southeast and mid-Atlantic region. The southwest also has some pockets of heavy rainfall as well. We'll dissect that in a moment. Snowfall starts around the panhandle of Texas, moves towards the Flint Hills, the Osage region, and then heads all the way up toward the mid-Atlantic. Some deep snow possible, 6 to 12 inches is going to be a wide swath of that across much of the country. And in terms of ice, Texas, Oklahoma, Arklatex, if you will, the southern delta, moving toward also again the mid-Atlantic. So let's get more specific on the system, and not to discount the cold, because the cold will be an impact as well. Cattle health index, it just lets you know the cold stress that's involved. Cold stress is extreme in these deep blue areas. This is for Thursday. Let's go into Friday. That extreme stress has now moved into Nebraska and Iowa. Let's get into Saturday. Now we have extreme cold stress on the cattle around the panhandle of Texas and Oklahoma. Once we get into Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we see it slowly retreating. But the cold, in combination with the wind, in combination with wetness on the animals because of the precip, we have extreme cases of cold stress possible over the next several days. I want to walk you through a timeline now of the system as it arrives, and I'll pause in a couple of places here. But as we gain strength here, we're bringing in the cold and the moisture. And that cold and moisture is combining right in here. You see that in the blues, the pinks, the greens. That is the system moving in, developing, and then it begins to move toward New England. So let's get a closer, tighter view here of the southern and central plains as the system evolves. And again, I'll pause it here right about there. And at this point, this is Saturday, about midnight or so, Central Time, we have snow north of I-40, I-40 south to I-20, that is ice. And then I-20 and southward down toward 10, that is mostly rainfall. But you can see the big mess that is developed here from the central to southern plains. Let's progress forward in time, and we'll pause. How about right in there? So we started Friday, systems coming together. By early Saturday morning, midnight, that's when everything started to change over to ice and snow and getting very slick. This is Saturday at noon. Icing now still continues from I-40 to I-20. Rain to the south, snowfall to the north. We progress. Here we hit Sunday at midnight, Oklahoma City, Tulsa, Amarillo, getting in a heavier snowfall by that point. The icing has changed to snow. The icing is now from I-10 to I-20, I-35, I-45, stretching from basically Midland, Texas to Memphis, Nashville, Knoxville. South of this line, this is all primarily rainfall, but it's cold rain at this point. And again, that's early Sunday morning, so it's already 24 hours worth of icing and snow accumulation. This is Sunday at noon. We're wrapping things up here for Texas, Oklahoma, and Kansas. We're pushing the rain, the ice, the snow off to the south and east. And again, that's going to be Sunday. Into Sunday night and Monday, we'll have some recovery. However, temperatures remain cold until early next week, so that ice is not going anywhere. We can't remove it, obviously. It has to melt. So it's going to be a long duration, a couple of days if you get that ice, that it's going to last. Some of the snowfall totals, just a rough example of what's possible. I do believe that we'll see the heavier stuff shift east and perhaps north slightly before the storm actually evolves. But 3s, 6s possible in New Mexico, 3 to 6 possible around Amarillo in the panhandle there. Anywhere from 6 to 12 possible from Oklahoma City through the Osage region. And then we get some deeper pockets here in some of northern Arkansas. North of Nashville, there's some deeper pockets of snowfall in there too. In terms of icing, most of the icing, again, I-40 down to I-20, and then it moves southward. So accretion, or the accumulation of ice across Texas, is kind of focused on I-20 and I-30 here. And you can see anywhere close to a ½ inch, if not more, of ice accumulation on every single surface is going to be possible as we get in through this system. And then it gets lesser so and more spotty and pocketed here across the southeast. But for a lot of this map view, the southeastern U.S., the southern plains, it's a combination of rain, sleet, icing, and snow. Quite a trifecta. Even if you stay in rain, if you're closer to the Gulf, you're still going to have that chill move in. That chill is going to be detrimental on a lot of vegetation, I'm afraid, especially some of the fruits, if we want to talk about commodities. But again, total moisture, there's a lot of it coming through. You got to dissect whether or not you're getting snow or ice or a combination of the two in that timing to get this water. It's a lot of water coming through, but again, it's detrimental if it's frozen, that frozen variety. You can see the focal point as that system over the Baja and the Gulf grabs that moisture out of the Gulf and the moisture out of the Baja. It's throwing up over southern plains. Northern plains, you're dealing with cold, a little bit of precip. Out west, relatively quiet, some areas of precip and hardly the cold at all. And toward New England, that's where the snow is going to be moving, and there'll be hefty totals there as well. 6, 12, 18 inches possible in New England, mid-Atlantic states. The nation's capital will be dealing with ice and snow. It's going to be travel troubles for sure. But if we reflect on the storm for cattle health, it's going to come down to the cold, the duration of that cold, and if the animal is wet. And in a lot of cases, that animal will be. So the cattle stress, as we talked about, is going to be high, especially for Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas, Missouri, Arkansas, moving through Kentucky, parts of Tennessee, toward the New England states. That's the data, at least in my world. I know there's a lot of information out there. You need something specific, find me on social, find me in the email. You can find me at makensweather.com too. I'll let you know the best I can what's headed your way.